From SAUL solid evidence, I think we have learned that it's safe to treat with atezolizumab patients with impaired renal function, with autoimmune disease, even with ECOG performance status. SAUL is the largest trial on immunotherapy treated patients with atezolizumab in more than 1,000 patients worldwide in a randomized trial. The endpoint was safety. Secondary endpoints were overall survival, progression-free survival, and duration of response. This resulted in 8.7 months overall survival, which is comparable to pivotal trials recently published.
Axel, what do you think that SAUL trial really adds to IMvigor outcomes?
In Vigor, we have those clinical trial situation. We could not include patients with impaired renal function. We could not include patients with autoimmune disease or patients with a renal function problem. So here in SAUL, we could include all of those, and it adds evidence in this real-world situation, the patients we see every day. Also, we had 5% patients with not urothelial carcinoma, which were included.
In the EU, we have now 3 checkpoint inhibitors approved, like pembrolizumab, atezolizumab, and nivolumab. Some target the PD-1 axis, and some target, like atezo, and then the SAUL trial, the PD-L1 axis. Do you think that this makes any difference?
Looking at those overlying overall survival curves, they were all like matching. So I think it's no different. They all work, they all hopefully deliver a plateau over the years. And when looking in the IMvigor-like 211 population, this is almost exactly the number we have seen with Keynote 45 trial. It was 10 months overall survival. So I think this is consistent, considering that this is a very large trial with more than 1,000 patients randomized.
Looking in detail in the SAUL trial outcomes, do you think that immuno-oncology is really prepared for treating performance status to patients?
We didn't randomize for best supportive care versus atezolizumab. So we see that it's safe. This is a primary endpoint, but we cannot draw any conclusion on the overall survival versus, for example, best supportive care.
As SAUL is an observational study, and it's like a window of opportunity to include patients with different risk groups and subcategories like renal impairment. What do you think will we learn from the subpopulation, and will there be subpopulations you would not treat in the clinical practice based on data derived from SAUL?
So from SAUL solid evidence, I think we have learned that it's safe to treat with atezolizumab patients with impaired renal function, with autoimmune disease, even with ECOG performance status. I think it is a safe treatment for all subgroups. However, with regards to efficacy, this, especially in the ECOG performance status 2, is under evaluation. We will have to wait further data. More data is to come. More data is submitted to next conferences. So we have a lot more discussion on SAUL, on atezolizumab in advanced bladder cancer.
EAU TV is brought to you from the 34th Annual EAU Congress in Barcelona. And if you'd like to watch more things like this, then you can click on these videos here. And you can also subscribe for the very best in medicine, from psychology to urology, from gynecology to genetics.